Okay. Give me a second to press record, as always. And take it away, Cheddar.
Bane, written by Harrison Bradshaw. Fade in. Interior mechanic garage. Evening. It's in the middle of the floor, rocking up, down, back, forth. A man wearing a jumpsuit slides out from under the car, exhausted. This is Damian Crowley, 20s, underweight, pale, with messy, greasy hair to top it all off. Around his neck is a moonstone necklace. He gets up and dusts himself off. Across the room is another mechanic, Emma, a 20-something tomboy working on something under the hood. Damian stares at her as she works. This goes on for a beat until she looks at him. He looks away and makes like he's busy under the hood of the old sedan. Along comes the final co-worker, Marty Sampson, late 20s, average.
When are you gonna go talk to her?
Talk to who?
Really?
Beat. Marty turns to Emma, yells,
Hey,
Damian hits Marty in the kidney, just hard enough to stop him mid-sentence. Emma looks at them. They give her nothing. She looks back down at the car.
Ow, god damn it. Did you just punch me in the kidney?
Sorry.
I can't take one more goddamn day of you gawking, Damien. I'm asking her.
He turns to Emma. Damian tries to stop him. Marty pushes Damian back.
Hey, Emma!
He notices Damian rush out the door.
God damn it.
Emma buries her head back under the hood. Exterior mechanic garage. Continuous. Damian hurries to his car, an old rusty and dented Chevy Malibu. He gets in. Marty hustles to the window. Damian starts the car.
Don't you do it.
Damian puts the car in gear. Marty runs in front of it.
Stop. Look, you're my fucking ride, man. I'm sorry, alright? Let me get my shit and we can go.
Exterior, two-lane back road, evening. A beat-up 1970s Chevy Malibu cruises down a pine-smothered road. Moonlight coats the landscape. Interior, 1970s Chevy Malibu, evening. Silence, says Damian behind the wheel and Marty riding shotgun. Damian smoking, but it doesn't look good on him. An anxious and fidgety little guy.
So you wouldn't want to date her because she works on cars for a living?
No, what?
I don't see why you wouldn't ask her out then.
Well, no, it's...
Is it because she's better with a wrench than you?
A smile from Damian.
You're unbelievable.
Well, help me out here, man. You look at her all day like a fat kid does cake.
When she says no, and she will, I'll be the one that has to be reminded of that every single time we're on shift together. It's easy for you to say because you're not the one who has to deal with the outcome. Why the fuck don't you ask her out?
Do you want me to ask her out?
No, but...
Exactly. Tell you what, take a deep breath. It's not that major. Next time we're all on the same shift, I'll wingman the shit out of it for you. Just relax and let me bring this home. Well, we'll have to give you a fucking man makeover or something, though. There's only so much I can do.
What do you mean?
Marty gives Damian an indicating stare. Damian catches a glimpse of himself in the rearview mirror.
Fair enough. But even if she says yes, I can't afford to take her out.
Why not?
Frankie hasn't paid me yet.
Still?
He said he will soon.
Fuck that. A day's pay for a day's work. Am I gonna have to handle this for you too? I mean, Jesus Christ, Damien. Turn this piece of shit around, so I'm gonna go slap the shit out of that fat bitch. Yeah, turn this bitch around. I ain't afraid to get fired.
Damian, smiling, slows down and starts to turn around. Marty corrects the steering wheel to keep heading straight.
Nah, I need this job. You better get your money tomorrow, though.
I'll ask him about it, all right?
Beat.
Well, I appreciate the ride, man.
Yeah, not a problem.
I feel like a moron, being a mechanic without a working car. That's like a tailor running around butt fucking naked.
Damian turns down a dirt road. They continue on until the woods give way, presenting an isolated craftsman-style house surrounded by pine.
Thanks again for the lift.
Marty gets out and heads inside. Damian puts the car in reverse to back out and notices a bag in the back seat.
Shit.
He puts the car back in park, grabs the bag, and gets out. Exterior Sampson house, continuous. Damien walks to the front door. He's sporting a noticeable limp. Indistinct voices come from inside. He hesitates for a moment, then knocks. Marty answers.
Hey, you forgot your bag.
Oh, right. Thanks. We're just about to have dinner. Why don't you come in for a plate?
I actually,
You know damn well you don't have any place to be.
no thanks. I appreciate it.
Gloria Sampson, Marty's mom, 50, walks up behind Marty with a wine glass in hand, slightly tipsy.
Hey, sweetheart. Who's this?
A friend from work.
Hi, Mrs. Sampson.
Gloria, please. You should come on in and have something to eat.
I tried to tell him, but he's giving me the goddamn shrinking violet routine.
What?
She puts her arm around Damien and brings him inside.
You're staying for dinner. Do you like meatloaf?
Damien gives Marty the stink eye as he's dragged past him. Marty grins ear to ear. He closes the door. Interior Sampson house, foyer, continuous. Gloria looks Damien over. She pushes his disheveled hair back.
That's better. Now, how about some meat on those bones?
Jack Sampson, Marty's dad, 55, joins them from the kitchen, wiping his hands with a hand towel to get off whatever he was in the middle of cooking.
Gloria, would you leave the boy alone? How are you?
Damien.
Well, Damien, dinner should be ready in a few minutes. Why don't you boys grab a beer in the meantime?
Jack and Gloria head off, back into the kitchen.
Looks like you don't have a choice now.
I kind of noticed.
Interior Sampson house, living room, night. Jack and Gloria can be seen in the kitchen next door. They're cooking, drinking, laughing. The picture of a happy marriage. The rest of Marty's family is spread out around the living room. Marty's Uncle Harry, 50s, is watching his favorite hockey team, glued to the TV and eyes fixed on every moment. Marty's sister Belle, 20, is curled up on the couch with her phone. Damien and Marty enter with brews in hand. Damien stands there with the confidence of a field mouse as he looks around at the strangers.
I wish I would have known about this. I would have brought a bottle of wine or something.
What is wrong with you?
He drapes his arm over Damien's shoulder and leads him around the room.
This is my Uncle Harry.
Uncle Harry extends his hand to Damien. They shake hands. During it, Uncle Harry uses his middle finger to gently stroke Damien's palm. Damien looks at him, puzzled.
He's also super gay. You want to relax?
Marty points to the couch in the corner.
And over there's my sister Belle.
Hi.
She looks up from her phone with a straight face, then back to her phone.
Don't be a bitch.
Hi. Oh my God. How are you?
I'm okay.
Come on over here. Like hockey?
Sure.
Damien sits down next to Harry.
I'll go check on dinner. Let me know if you need a rape whistle or something.
Marty exits.
What time is John coming?
Hell if I know. Wish he'd hurried up. Been missing one hell of a shootout.
John?
Oh, Marty's kid brother. He's been in Europe for school.
Someone scores in the game.
Ah, son of a bitch.
Marty pops back in from the kitchen.
All right. Looks like dinner's ready. Let's eat.
Shouldn't we wait for John?
Looks like he's running a bit late.
Interior Sampson house dining room. Moments later, everyone moves into the dining room table and sits down. Jack and Gloria stroll in and place the meal on the table. As Damien sits, he knocks over someone's drink.
Shit. Sorry.
Don't worry about it.
Everyone digs in. Time lapse. Full plates turn empty. Wine and beer consumed by all. Empty bottles pile up. Everyone chatting, meshing, and having a good time. What seems like an hour passes. The mood winds down to a simmer.
I'm sure he has a good reason for being late. We should probably call it a night. Harry is about to fall out of his chair.
You all right there, Uncle Harry?
Uncle Harry mutters some drunken nonsense as he's sprawled out on the chair with several empty long-neck bottles in front of him.
All right. Damien, I'll walk you out.
They stand.
Thanks for having me over for dinner.
Everyone says their pleasantries. Damien and Marty make their way to the front door. Interior Sampson house, foyer, continuous. Damien opens the door, steps outside.
I'll see you.
A low growl comes from behind Damien. It quickly builds into a horrible roar, and in an instant, a huge blur of black fur leaps at him, tossing him violently aside with its claws. Exterior Sampson House front porch continuous. The beast drops Marty, going right to work on his neck. Everyone inside scrambles to the fire, screaming and hollering when they see the carnage. Damien bleeds profusely from his abdomen, though he's oblivious to it, and understandably so. He stands like a statue outside of the house, stunned by shock and frozen in place, instantly sweating bullets and shaking as he helplessly watches Marty get torn to shit. The beast makes short work of Marty and moves on throughout the house without hesitation. Everyone inside slaughtered in seconds. Blood-curdling screams ring out of the house. Blood sprays the window and walls. The remaining family members tried running. No use from the sound of it. One by one, their screams die out. The commotion dies down to a silence. Damien can't bear to look. Damien slowly advances, trembling, as he tries to get a view inside, when suddenly, Marty's sister limps out to the door. Her right leg is mangled to hell. She reaches out for Damien. He tries to grab her hand, only for the beast to rip her back inside. Tears run down Damien's face as the house swallows her. He looks down to his stomach. The gaping wound snaps him out of it. He sprints away from the house, continues down the dirt road in a panic. Doesn't last long. He collapses face down on the side of the road. Beat. Focused on him. In unconscious, Damien's bones begin to crack and leak like an old house. He shifts back and expands. Interior hospital room day. Damien's out cold in the hospital bed. This being a small town, the hospital and its accommodations are less than impressive. A nurse comes in and checks his vitals. She swaps out his IV for a fresh one. As she replaces the IV bag, she hears a faint rolling snarl coming from under Damien's breath. She leans in. Damien jolts to an upright sitting position. Huffing and puffing, his bloodshot eyes dart around the room. The startled nurse shrieks.
I'll get the doctor.
She hurries out of the room. As Damien calms down, he notices he's handcuffed to the bed. He checks on his gut. Nothing. Completely normal. Like it was all a bad dream. The doctor enters.
Mr.
He flips through the papers on his clipboard.
Mr. Curley, how are we feeling?
Why am I chained to the bed?
We can get to that in a second.
What happened?
A couple of hours ago, a passerby found you face down on the side of the road. Do you remember the events preceding to your unconsciousness?
I couldn't stop it.
You couldn't stop what?
Damien doesn't answer, just stares off out the window.
Are you on any recreational drugs or prescription drugs?
How did you fix me?
You had no injuries when you were admitted. You were just unconscious with blood on your clothes, which is why some detectives have been waiting outside to question you.
The doctor pokes his head out and signals the detectives. 2 detectives walk in and stand at the foot of Damien's bed. Detective Sanders, 30, a mean-looking son of a bitch, and Detective Alice Bailey, female, late 20s. We'll call her Alice.
I'll be back to check on you in a few minutes.
The doctor exits, Damien still staring off.
Mr. Crowley.
He gives Damien a moment to respond. Nothing from Damien.
Mr. Crowley.
Damien,
Damien finally responds and acknowledges the 2 detectives.
this is Detective Sanders, and I'm Detective Bailey. We're investigating the Sampson House massacre. You were found near the scene covered in blood. Can you tell us what happened exactly?
It came out of nowhere.
What came out of nowhere, Damien?
A wolf.
How did you make it out?
It gutted me on its way in. Didn't even look at me. Like I was just in the way.
That's when it attacked the people inside?
It loved it. I didn't do a fucking thing to stop it. I just froze up like a child.
You couldn't have stopped something like this.
I could have tried.
There's blood on your clothes, and there aren't any wolves in this town.
It's my blood.
You don't have a scratch on you. Doc said you're tip-top. Cut the shit. What happened?
I told you.
And I told you there aren't any wolves around here. Coyotes, sure, but you expect us to believe that a, 40-pound coyote ran through 5 people? Now, what I do believe is that a family is dead, and so far, this story doesn't hold.
Detective Bailey sees how shook up Damien is.
That's enough.
Sanders leaves in a slight huff. The nurse pops her head in.
Patient's father is here. Send him up.
The nurse leaves to do just that.
We'll let you rest. Call me if you remember anything else.
She uncuffs him and hands him her card. It reads, Detective Alice Bailey, with her cell and work number. She places her hand on his. Interior hospital hallway, continuous. Alice comes out of the room and catches up with Sanders.
What was that about?
They walk.
Something's not right with this. Just asking the questions.
Can we investigate the scene before you terrorize the victim?
Interior hospital room, continuous. Mr. Crowley, Damien's dad, 50s, bursts through the door. He rushes over and hugs his son.
Are you all right? What happened?
I'm fine. Let me explain later, yeah?
Damien gets out of the bed and grabs his clothes from a nearby chair, sheds the hospital gown and puts them on. When he does this, he unhooks himself from the EKG machine. A moment later, the doctor comes in.
Hold on there. So far, everything looks good. Just waiting for your blood work to come back.
How long?
Shouldn't take more than half an hour. If it checks out, we'll have you on your way.
Interior Samson House foyer, day. Alice and Sanders stand in the gruesome scene. Personnel is buzzing around the place. The medical examiner is crouching over the bodies, studying the scene. In walks one of Detective Sanders' rather inept underlings. Deputy Hanover comes in from the perimeter and approaches the detectives. He steps in blood, stopping him in his tracks.
Hanover,
Deputy Hanover looks down.
what are you doing right now?
Messing up the crime scene?
Why are you messing up my crime scene?
I just had to tell you that the coroner is here.
You couldn't have told me that from outside the door? Get back on the perimeter.
Yes, sir.
Deputy Hanover exits. Exterior Sampson House, day. Out walks Hanover, passes all of the emergency vehicles and personnel. He stops at the perimeter. Next to him is the other deputy, Deputy Montana, a simple and homely-looking oaf. They both look out into the trees, their backs to the house.
I pissed him off again.
What'd you do now?
Stepped in blood.
God damn it. This is why he doesn't let us go into the crime scenes.
Interior Sampson House, day. The medical examiner stands up.
What could have done something like this?
Looks like an animal attack. Something big, maybe rabid. I'll get the bodies back and have an autopsy for you in a few days.
Keep us posted.
The medical examiner leaves.
You owe someone an apology.
Wait a minute now.
He focuses on the big, bloody beast footprints leading out back. Exterior Sampson House backyard, continuous. He follows the tracks out of a broken sliding glass door in the back. The beast busted out of it, no doubt. The tracks lead to the forest.
Shit. That's a big fucking wolf.
I'll wrap things up here. You get to go apologize to the guy that just watched 5 people die. All us small-town cops have is our cordialties.
Sanders rolls his eyes. Interior hospital room, day.
It looks like that should do it. Just sign out with reception on your way out.
Thank you, Doctor.
You betcha.
The doctor leaves.
I need to get out of here.
You should stay with me for a while.
Dad, I'm fine. I just need some rest. Can you give me a ride?
Interior car, evening. Light rain. Damien is in the backseat of his dad's car. The radio's on low. Damien's looking out the window. He suddenly winces in pain and lifts his shirt. Just under the skin, his ribs shift around. The pain is mild enough that he keeps it under wraps, concerned though he is. He lowers his shirt and checks the rearview mirror. His dad's eyes are focused on the road. Interior, Sanders' car, evening. He's on the phone. It rings. The receptionist answers.
Blue Creek Medical.
Detective Sanders. I was just there to speak to one Damien Crowley. Can you put me through to his room?
A beat.
Looks like he was discharged.
Do you have an address?
I think we pulled it from his license. Let me check.
She gives Sanders the address. Exterior, Damien's driveway, evening. Damien gets out of his dad's car and moves to the passenger window.
Are you sure you're all right? You shouldn't be alone after a thing like that.
I just need a good night's sleep.
How about coming up to the house tomorrow night? I'll whip something up.
Yeah, sounds good.
All right. Last thing, I had your car towed to the driveway.
Thanks.
Damien heads in. Interior, Damien's living room. Moments later, Damien walks in. He has one of those setups where the kitchen is right next to his living room. He makes it a few feet before he winces and clutches his gut. It's worse this time. He drops to the floor in pain, pulling his shirt off over his head. His bones agitate under his skin. He cries out. Damien wills himself to his feet and makes his way to the fridge. He rips it open and starts in devouring everything in sight. An absolute feast. Raw meat of all kinds, raw eggs, shell and all. Anything he can get his hands on. All topped off with a gallon of milk. Everything inhaled. A curious cat hops onto the windowsill. Dead silence after Damien's feeding. The cat lets out a few meows when suddenly a set of arms yanks the cat out of the window. Screeches are drowned out by growling and crunching sounds. The commotion winds down to a silence. A knock on the door. Damien pops up, looking like a deer in the headlights. He wipes the leftovers and blood from his face, looks down at his chest, a total mess. He grabs the shirt he took off moments ago and puts it on, composes himself. He answers the door, but only opens it less than halfway.
Hey, just wanted to stop by to apologize for the way I treated you. That wasn't right, especially after the night you had.
Don't worry about it.
Sanders spots a small bit of blood on Damien's collar.
Hey, you mind if I come in? It's raining real bad out here.
Sanders pushes his way in.
Nah, I am worried about it. I was a real dickhead earlier. I'm sorry about that.
No harm, no foul. I appreciate you dropping by.
Sanders notices the mess.
You like raw meat?
No, will there be anything else, Detective?
That should do it. That thing's still out there. Looks like we should be careful, don't it?
Sanders exits. Interior, Sanders' car, continuous. Sanders walks down the driveway to his car, gets in. He wipes the rain off of himself, takes out his phone and dials. Ring!
Hey, how'd it go?
I apologized.
Okay, good.
But something is wrong with this guy. I can feel it.
Do you hear yourself right now? If he's acting a little weird, it might be because of what he just went through.
I think he was just eating raw meat. That's a bit past a little weird.
Huh. Are you sure?
Sure?
You saw him eat it?
No. But raw meat and everything else in the kitchen was spread out all over the counter.
What the fuck does that even mean?
It means I have a hunch.
It means you're losing it. This isn't some open-ended case. You heard what the ME said. Let it go.
Interior, Damien's room. Night. Sorry. Damien sleeps sprawled out on the bed, sweating, the moonlight shining down on him through the window. Exterior woods, night. Dream sequence. Werewolf POV, low to the ground, nimbly stalking the woods around Mr. Crowley's house. We know this because his car just pulled up out front. The engine shuts off and he gets out and makes his way to the front door. The beast moves in behind him, slowly, hunting. Mr. Crowley gets to his door. The wolf rushes forward, panting, snarling, snapping its jaw, aching to get a taste. Mr. Crowley opens the door and turns around upon hearing the ambush. He sees the beast charging, and he jumps inside, closing the door behind him. The beast loses no steam and obliterates the door, is on top of poor Mr. Crowley, screaming, crunching, blood. Interior, Damien's room, morning. Damien springs upright in a sweat, panting, looking to have gained about 30 pounds. He catches his breath, grabs his phone from the nightstand and calls his dad. The phone rings. Damien, still on edge. Each ring is torturous. After a few...
Hey, kid.
Damien lets out a sigh of relief.
You there?
Yeah, Dad. Sorry.
How are you feeling?
Better.
Well, that's damn good to hear. I expect you're still coming tonight.
Wouldn't miss it.
Damien hangs up, notices Alice's card on the nightstand, gets up and heads to the bathroom. After a few steps, he turns around and grabs it before actually heading to the bathroom. Interior bathroom continuous. He dials Alice. It rings. While he's waiting for her to pick up, Damien studies himself in the mirror. He looks healthier in every way. Face has more color, fills out his frame better, etc. Improvement all around.
Hello?
Hey, I'm not sure why I called you. I guess it's because I don't really have anyone else to talk to about this thing. I'm kind of lost on what to do.
Can you meet me at the coffee shop? I have a few more questions for you.
Sure, there's one on 10th.
Okay? I'll meet you there in 30.
Damien hangs up. He pushes his hair back, throws on some clothes that complement. He looks like a new man. The doorbell rings. Interior, Damien's living room, continuous. He comes in from the hall. On his way to the front door, he turns on his coffee maker. It starts brewing. Damien answers the door. He's right surprised by who is at the door. At the door is a man who looks like a dope fiend on his way to church. Hair put back into a ponytail, dog tags around his neck, a button-up shirt and slacks that look like they came from Goodwill. This is Charlie, late 20s.
Hey, little brother. Oh, goddamn, you look good.
Beat.
What are you doing here, Charlie?
I just got out. Can I come in?
Damien hesitates.
I gotta go soon.
It's alright. I just need a minute if I can have it.
Damien opens the door fully. Charlie slips in. Damien walks over to the kitchen. Charlie follows. Damien pours coffee.
You want a cup?
Please.
Anything in it?
Nah.
Damien hands him a cup of black.
Glad to see you're walking right. Figured the leg wouldn't heal.
What are you doing here, Charlie?
Right. Got me a job interview coming up. It's a requirement in my release. I just want to see if I could, borrow some shoes for it.
Damien looks down at Charlie's shoes. He's wearing dirty running shoes.
Okay.
Damien heads down the hall to his room. Charlie looks around. Damien comes back with some church shoes.
Here.
He hands them to Charlie.
I appreciate it.
Awkward silence. Damien doesn't want to say anything. Charlie isn't sure what to say. Then,
So, how you been?
Fine, Charlie.
Alright, well, I'd like to catch up with you soon if that's okay.
Damien says nothing.
Well, wish me luck with this interview. Good seeing you.
Charlie heads out. Damien follows him to the door. Charlie stops on the stoop, turns.
Listen, I can't tell you how sorry I am and, how ashamed I am. All you have inside is time to think about what's really important, and, it's family, it's you, it's Dad, and it breaks my heart that I did what I did, and I don't know what to do, but I just want to try my hardest to fix things.
Charlie walks away. Damien closes the door. Damien leans against the door with his back. Wipes his eyes. Interior coffee shop day. Damien walks into the coffee shop. Alice is already sitting at a table. Damien walks over and joins her. She takes a moment to soak in his improved appearance.
You look to be feeling better.
Yeah. Hell of a night.
How are you holding up?
I'm good now.
Was something wrong?
It's just been a fucked up couple of days.
That's a bit of an understatement.
Yeah, I feel good, considering. I figured, spilled milk and crying and whatnot.
Beat.
I have some questions for you, if that's okay. Do you remember anything else about that night?
I remember feeling helpless.
You still think it was a wolf?
It was bigger.
Check the local zoo and see if they're missing one, but a whole family is a lot of damage for a single wolf.
It wasn't from the zoo. I know that. This was something else.
The running theory is Rabid Wolf. What do you think? You were there.
It's possible, but I think it was something else. I don't know. Like I said, it shoved me aside and went right at everyone in the house. Just saying, I've never seen a wolf like that.
A waitress pops by their table.
How are you today? What can I get for you?
I'll have a coffee and a pecan pie if you have it.
And you?
Milk, please.
The waitress walks away to fetch their order.
Do I sound crazy?
A little bit.
The waitress returns with their order. She places it down and leaves.
Enjoy.
Damien stares at Alice. Alice tries her pecan pie. Damien drinks his milk. She takes a bite, then politely spits it out into a napkin and pushes the plate away.
Something wrong with it?
I love a good pecan pie. This is not a good pecan pie.
Alice's phone vibrates. She takes a look.
Well, Damien, that looks to be it. Not much else we can do in these cases. Glad you're feeling better.
Alice gets up to leave.
Detective,
She sits back down.
Yes?
I want you to meet my dad.
What?
You heard me.
Now I'm sure you're crazy.
What's so crazy about it? The whole near-death experience has me thinking differently. I want to see you again, so I'm asking to see you again.
Are you really hitting on me right now?
I don't think that's something I do. I just like talking to you. As a date, as a friend, doesn't matter. What does matter is that I'm pretty sure old man knows how to make a ruthless pecan pie.
Interior, mechanic garage day. Damien walks in and toward an office in the back. He's got a spring in his step. He walks past the cars on lifts and all of the other mechanic stations that one would expect to see in a body shop. Interior, Frankie's office day. Sitting behind the desk is the owner of the garage, Frankie, 40s, a short, fat guy in a mechanic's jumper. A mechanic's jumper that's way too clean for any working mechanic.
Thank God. Are you covering for Marty? He was supposed to be here hours ago.
Marty died last night.
What? How?
Something attacked him.
I'm sorry to hear that. I really am. But there's work to be done here. We got customers waiting. I need you to cover.
I'm off today.
Wrong. You were off.
I had plans. Just came for my check.
I don't give a fuck about your plans. You work here. You want your money? I'll give you your money after you get your ass out there and do your job.
Damien stares a hole through Frankie. Beat. Frankie's aggression fades after the read he gets from Damien. I'd wager that he's used to Damien responding differently to his usual abuse. Damien moves in close to Frankie. Damien moves in close to Frankie, towering confidently over him.
I am off today. I'm just here for my money.
I told you. I'll get it to you.
I know you will, Frankie. That's why I'm here.
Frankie rifles through the papers on his messy desk until he comes across a checkbook. He cuts a check and hands it to Damien.
Where's the rest?
What rest?
Damien glances out the window, sees his car.
What paints do we have in?
Red and white, I think.
I'll take the red. That should cover it. And I'll even do the work.
Damien walks out the door and closes it behind him. He opens the door for one last thing.
Oh, and I quit. Might want to get your fat ass out there. Customers are waiting.
Damien exits. Interior, mechanic garage continuous. Damien heads to the back of the garage past the cars on lifts. Emma is under one of them, working on the undercarriage.
Hey, Emma.
Emma stops what she's doing.
Wow, you look different.
How's it going?
Good. A little behind.
Frankie should be out to help in a minute.
Better pack a coat for hell.
Speaking of coats, I've got to go put one on. I'll see you.
Damien starts to leave. Emma scoffs.
What?
That's it?
I think so.
Damien continues on to the back room. Interior garage spray room. Moments later, Damien swings open the gates to the garage. His car purrs as he puts it inside. Damien puts on a jumpsuit and a respirator, uses a sprayer to coat his baby in a new, beautiful candy paint red. Interior mortuary. Evening. The body parts of the slain Sampson family are crudely put in places on slabs. Whatever body parts are left, anyway. The medical examiner stands over them. In walks Alice and Sanders.
Detectives?
What's the verdict?
They died quickly. Few blinks of an eye, probably. Missing body parts, likely eaten. Bite marks on the dislocation site. The wounds are consistent with a beast. Can't get an exact match, though. To be honest, I could only guess.
Could a person have done this?
No chance. The wounds are consistent with tearing, biting, and clawing. This wasn't done by a person. I couldn't tell you what did it.
How about that?
When will we have a full report?
Day, maybe two. A lot of bodies to look over.
Thank you. I've got to go. Wrap things up for me here, yeah?
Sure.
Exterior, Mr. Crowley's house night. Damien pulls up in his candy-painted pride and joy. Interior, Mr. Crowley's kitchen. Moments later, Damien walks in. His dad is cooking and throwing back a beer.
No, Charlie's out.
Uh-huh.
Has he come by here?
Nope. And it'll be hell for him if he does.
Good thing he hasn't come by here then.
Beat.
What's the chance of you making a pecan pie?
Why?
Can ya?
Of course.
He kisses his dad on the cheek.
What's got you feeling like a dog with two tails?
A girl.
What girl? You don't know any girls.
I've got to get ready.
Damien hustles out of the kitchen. Interior, Mr. Crowley's house night. The doorbell rings. Damien answers. It's Alice, looking better than ever.
Hey,
Damien takes her coat for her.
Thanks.
my dad just finished up dinner.
Smells great.
Right in here.
Interior, kitchen, continuous. Damien shows Alice in. Mr. Crowley is now sporting a Kiss the Cook apron and just pulled a pecan pie from the oven. Alice looks at Damien.
That's very sweet.
I'll just set this here to cool. Please have a seat.
Damien and Alice oblige him. Mr. Crowley comes over with his entree and plates the delicious-looking meal.
Just remembered I have to go do something.
What's something, Dad?
Enjoy!
He thinks this is a date. I never bring girls home, so he's kind of giddy.
Alice smiles. They eat.
What's the deal with the necklace?
It's my mom's.
Where is she?
She died, Ashley.
Shit. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. Long time ago.
Damien tucks the necklace back in his shirt. Mr. Crowley pops back in the kitchen, sits next to Alice.
How's the grub, kids?
Dad, please.
What?
Beat.
So what's the update on the case, Scully?
Scully?
X-Files? Like you, an ass-kicking beauty of a detective. Scully from X-Files? No? Come on.
No, sorry.
All right, well, these two detectives investigate freaky cases. One's Mulder, who thinks these cases are of the supernatural variety, and Scully has to keep Mulder's feet on the ground while she tries to find the reasonable explanations. Have you found them?
I think so, actually. It is a strange case, but we're just chalking it up to a rabid animal. I think we're going to be okay, though.
I'm damn sure we will be with someone like you on the case.
Oh, this was a mistake.
Well, I'd better get to bed. Just wanted to make sure the food was okay.
Mr. Crowley kisses Damien on the head.
Love you, kid.
Mr. Crowley takes a bite of Damien's food. Then he extends his hand to Alice. She places hers in it. Mr. Crowley kisses her hand.
Hope to see you around here more often.
You might.
Mr. Crowley leaves the room, lit up like a Christmas tree.
I am so sorry.
Don't be. He's adorable.
Yeah, he is.
I don't know what I'm doing here with you. I should ask your dad out.
Funny. I wouldn't blame you.
They finish their meal.
Now for what you really came for.
He cuts her a slice of pie. Exterior, Mr. Crowley's house, night. Damien walks Alice to her car. He opens Alice's car door for the... He opens Alice's car door for her. She gets in.
I don't know if you should leave me all alone with the big bad wolf on the loose. Do you have anywhere to be?
Interior car, moments later. Damien and Alice are driving to a bar a few blocks away.
I know you were poking fun at it earlier, but I'm really sorry for what you went through at the Samson place.
I appreciate that. Let's have some fun tonight. I could use it.
Alice places her hand on Damien's. Interior bar, night. Damien and Alice sit at a table with a couple empty long neck beer bottles. Damien notices a dusty karaoke machine in the corner of the room.
So, what do you think?
No. No way.
Come on.
No.
He stands and extends his hand out toward Alice. She hesitantly takes it. Damien drags her over to the old karaoke machine.
This is all you.
Damien backs up and lets her have the stage. She fiddles around with the machine, looking for a song. The patrons of the bar turn their attention to the stage. Alice settles on an 80s power ballad. Alice uses the downtime of the intro to get into the zone. The lyrics come up on the karaoke machine screen and Alice gets right to it. Damien and a few others are clapping. Two rednecks nearby are a little too enthusiastic, rowdy, whistling, laughing, hooting, and hollering. Annoying, but as of right now, no harm, no foul. Alice isn't paying them any mind, and she couldn't be more into the song. However, Damien is staring a hole through these two guys. They simmer down a touch after noticing Damien's displeasure. Damien eventually ignores the guys and puts his attention back to Alice. She continues on, strong. The crescendo of the song approaches. Alice is front and center, belting it out. The song winds down to a close. Damien and a few of the more polite patrons applaud once more. Alice hops off the stage.
How was that?
Fine.
Oh yeah? Are you gonna do better?
Looks like I might have to.
What are you waiting for?
Damien gets on stage, grabs the mic, and puts his jam of choice on the karaoke machine. It starts, builds. Damien cruises through the first verse. Meanwhile, those two rednecks make their way towards Alice. Chorus is coming up. It hits. Damien's fully committed to it, eyes closed. He's got a little sway going on. He's belting out the chorus, veins bulging from his neck, the works. Now, he's not the world's best singer, and he's not the world's worst, but he has spirit. Alice is getting a kick out of it, not laughing at him, but still laughing at him. One of the rednecks, the skinny one, brushes up on Alice.
How about a dance, John?
Alice shoves him back.
How about you dance with your lumberjack friend?
Alice turns back towards the karaoke. Come on, don't be like that. The fat redneck takes her by the hand and extends it with his, pulls her close and grabs her ass like they're about to do the shit kicker waltz. It's about this time Damien notices the commotion. He drops the mic and starts to charge forward. Before he can even take a step, Alice ruins the guy's day with a monster right hook.
Oh!
The guy collapses face down on the floor. Damien is still laughing his ass off. Alice kneels down next to the laid-out redneck. His friend considers helping him, but sees Damien behind Alice and thinks better of it.
You know you fucked up, right?
The fat redneck groans in response.
Amen.
Alice stands up. Alice is proud of herself, smiling at Damien. Damien puts his arm around her. They hurry towards the exit.
Now let's get out of here before someone calls you to your own crime scene. That was really something.
The punch?
I meant the singing, but that too. Like a goddamn human highlight reel.
Exterior, street, continuous. Damien and Alice exit the bar and start walking to the parking lot. After a few steps,
Shit, I forgot to pay the check.
I'll pull the car up.
Damien heads back in. Interior, bar, continuous. The skinny redneck is helping the chunky one to his feet. Damien walks to the barkeep and pulls out his wallet. Drops the check amount on the bar.
Thanks. Sorry about all the racket.
Damien turns around to leave, and the two rednecks are in his face.
You know, what the fuck, man? We're just trying to have some fun. My buddy's jaw's all shot to shit about you keeping that cunt on a leash, huh?
Damien headbutts him. The guy falls back, his nose mashed to shit. Damien immediately knocks the big one out for a second time. He drops like a redwood. He snatches the skinny one up by his collar and sends him headfirst into the bar table, then starts wailing on him. After several blows, he's had enough. Damien stands up over him.
You were so lucky just a few minutes ago. Now look at you.
Damien takes a towel from the bar table, wipes the blood off his fists, then throws the towel down. He heads toward the door. On his way out, he steps on the sleeping giant's hand. It sounds broken. Fat redneck cries out. "Ah!" I'm the fat redneck. Exterior bar, continuous. Damien hops in the car, leans over and kisses Alice, drawn out for a few good seconds. When they stop,
Well, that was something.
How about something else?
she leans over and kisses him. It doesn't look like they plan to stop anytime soon. Interior, Damien's living room, night. Alice and Damien drunkenly stumble through Damien's living room, ripping off each other's clothes as they head into the hall. Interior, Damien's room, night. They barrel in and fall to the bed. Damien lightly bites her neck. They continue. Interior, Damien's room, afternoon. Damien wakes up to Alice getting dressed. She clips her gun holster to her waistband, puts on her shirt. Damien checks the clock. It reads 1:30. Damien lights a smoke.
Hey,
Hey, yourself.
I think yesterday was the best day of my life.
I don't doubt it. But I gotta go. I got called in. Something about 2 guys in the hospital. I'll call you later.
Damien looks worried to hear this, masks it.
What do you think about dinner tonight? I'll make.
She crawls on the bed and kisses Damien.
Sounds like the place to be.
She leaves.
Shit.
All right, and now we are at intermission. Great work, you guys. We're going to take a quick 5-minute break, and we'll be right back. And we're back. Welcome back to Twitch Film Table Reads. We are reading Bane by Harrison Bradshaw. Let's rejoin our table readers. Uno momento. Hey guys, we are back from the break. Everybody ready to continue?
See.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yes.
Yeah.
Affirmative.
Excellent. All right, Cheddar, take it away.
Exterior Damien's house continuous. Alice walks out. Charlie is on the porch, slumped over against the wall.
Hello?
Charlie wakes.
Oh, hey there, Miss Lady.
Are you here to see Damien?
Yes, ma'am. I'm his brother.
He extends his hand. Alice shakes.
Nice to meet you.
No, good lord, I'm proud of my brother.
Alice laughs.
All right. Well, you should be decent now.
All right, thank you very much. Have a good day now.
You too.
Alice leaves. Charlie knocks. After a beat, Damien answers.
Hey, that's going was a lady cop.
What are you doing here? You can't just keep dropping by like this, Charlie.
Well, I'm sorry, brother. I just wanted to return these shoes.
You can keep them.
No need. Looks like it got me a job.
That's good, Charlie.
What do you say we go out and celebrate?
I can. I've got to get going.
Now, listen, I know you hate me for what I did, and I don't blame you, but I'm trying to be a different man now. Let me try to make it right. I ain't touched the stuff in 4 years I've been in. I have no plan to renew my habit. What do I have to do to prove it to you?
I don't know, Charlie.
I'm really trying here. I just want to move on, and I'll do damn near anything. And I figure I can get this job, get my own place, and rebuild from there.
Beat.
You want some lunch?
Charlie lights up.
You serious? Oh, goddamn, that'd be great.
All right.
Interior Damien's kitchen. Moments later, the boys sit on some stools with a couple of sandwiches, some chips, and a nice glass of something cold to drink.
You worried about something?
Alice, she got a call about guys in the hospital. Beat up bad.
So what?
I put them in there.
How come?
I don't know. Lost control. I didn't need to hurt them that bad, but I wanted to.
They the ones who started in?
Yeah, with Alice too.
Ain't nothing wrong there. Little brother, if you don't check him out on that, disorder is next in line.
Charlie raises his glass towards Damien. Damien smiles slightly and meets him with a clink of his glass.
Now, about that Alice. I wasn't kidding there. That's real nice work. I mean that in the most respectful way possible.
I appreciate that.
Look at you. Mama would have been proud.
Silence. Damien pulls back from the conversation. Eats. Interior hospital, afternoon. Alice enters. Sanders and his 2 deputies are already standing around a couple of hospital beds. In the bed lie the rednecks from the bar. The skinny one has a nose bandage and his jaw wired shut. The big one has a fresh cast on his arm and a bruised face. Hey, that's the bitch that hit me.
What?
I was dancing in the bar. I accidentally bumped into Miss Thing here, and she blindsided me.
Unbelievable.
What's this guy talking about?
I was at the bar last night, and this piece of shit asked for a dance. I told him I wasn't interested. He called me a bitch and grabbed my ass, so I dropped him. I didn't do that to his hand, and I definitely didn't do whatever happened to this guy.
She's right about that. Right about boyfriend.
Boyfriend? You say boyfriend?
I took Damien out for a few drinks.
Damien did this? I told you something was wrong with him.
We don't know that he did this.
Bullshit. We have 2 victim statements, and I'll bet if I show the bartender a picture, he'll say it was him.
Don't do this.
Don't do what?
Don't let personal bullshit let this get out of control. You've had a problem with Damien since minute 1, and these 2 are grade A fucking morons, and they had it coming, and then some. This isn't a case. It was self-defense, so I'll go on the record saying just that.
She storms out.
She's too close to this. I'll go talk to Damien.
Exterior, Alice's car. Moments later, Alice gets in and slams the door shut.
Ah, shit.
Alice takes out her phone and sends a text to Damien. It reads, Can't make it tonight, I have to work. She throws her phone to the passenger seat. Interior, Damien's kitchen. Afternoon. Damien and Charlie just finished eating. Damien gets up and puts Charlie's plate on top of his, drops them in the sink.
Let me do the dishes.
I got him.
Well, that's the least I can do.
Okay. I've got to go drain the oil in my bucket. Hasn't been sounding too good lately.
Holler if you need a hand.
Charlie starts in on the dishes. Exterior, Damien's driveway. Afternoon. Damien strolls out to his driveway, pops the trunk off his car, and takes out a rinky-dink jack. He slides it under, pumps, pumps, pumps. It's wobbly, nowhere near as sturdy as it should be, but it should do. He crawls under. He feels around under the engine until he finds the oil drain, tries to unscrew it. He yanks on it slightly. It doesn't budge. He yanks again, harder this time. Comes loose. The result of this violent yank? The jack wobbles even harder as oil comes spilling out of the engine next to Damien as the jack gives and the car drops on him. He catches it, holding the undercarriage inches from his face. A car pulls up behind Damien's in the driveway. Sanders gets out of it.
Damien?
Hey there, detective. A little help.
Sanders notices that Damien's under the car without the support of the jack. He rushes and grabs the jack and tries to put it under the car. Not enough room.
It won't fit under the car. What the hell happened?
You gotta lower the jack.
Sanders tries.
It won't drop.
Hold on.
Damien struggles and pushes. The car lifts about an inch. Sanders slides the jack back under. Damien crawls out, hops to his feet.
Whew.
They take a moment to process.
How do you do that?
Adrenaline, I guess.
The oil continues to drain as they talk.
Seems like a lot of weird shit happens around you, Damien. This car weighs, what, a ton?
What can I do for you, detective?
The oil stops flowing.
You want to tell me what happened with those two guys in the bar?
Damien slides under the car.
They started it.
And you finished it with sending them to the ICU?
I'm sure anyone there will tell you that they had it coming.
Your date backs your story.
Bother you that I had drinks with Alice?
Sanders stares at the jack, takes a step towards it. Damien sees Sanders' feet advance.
What if you knocked that jack out and you're wrong about me?
Sanders stops, comes back to reality. Damien slides out, pours oil into the engine, puts the cap on. Damien and Sanders exchange a stare. He drops the hood, heads inside.
Take care.
Interior, Damien's kitchen night. Charlie's phone rings. He turns off the water and dries his hands. He pulls a decade-old flip phone out of his pocket. Answers.
Charlie Crowley?
Speaking.
I'm sorry, we filled position. Thank you for your time.
Charlie hangs up. Damien comes through the front door. Charlie perks up like nothing is wrong.
All done, baby bro.
Where are you staying tonight?
I'll figure it out.
Why don't you crash on the couch?
Oh, no, I'll be fine.
Don't give me that shit, Charlie. Stay the night.
You sure?
Of course. Plus, it's not all selfless. I could use the company. You drink
I'd better not. Clean means clean from all of it.
Well, I'm sure we could find something to keep us busy. They show movies in prison?
Nothing above PG.
Well, that settles it.
Interior, Sanders' car, evening. He's on the phone.
Something's wrong with this guy, Alice. I don't know what to say that won't make me sound insane.
Well, until you figure it out, when you figure it out, give me a call. Until then, leave him alone and stow the obsession.
Interior, Damien's living room, night. Damien and Charlie sit on the couch. Charlie's passed out. A movie just ended on the TV. Damien wakes Charlie up.
Hey, Charlie.
Ah, shit, I passed out.
Uh-huh.
Sorry, I haven't gotten much sleep lately.
Alice says she can't come tonight. Figure I'll try for a night on the town. What do you say?
I think I'll go for a walk, clear my head.
All right, I'm gonna get ready. If I'm not here when you get back, the key's under the mat.
Exterior street night. Charlie walks onto the street from Damien's place. He strolls down the road, itching at himself, his neck, his arm. He rolls up his sleeve to get a better scratch. Track marks cover his arm. He itches some more, rolls down his sleeve and keeps walking. Charlie arrives at an old trailer down the road. Interior, Damien's living room night. Damien walks out of the hallway, fresh, clean, and ready to go. He grabs his coat and car keys from the table, not a care in the world. Then, when Damien turns around, he's greeted by the biggest damn moon he's ever seen. It stares him down, shining through his window. He immediately becomes terrified of it and yells out as his chest begins to shift and crack. He rips off his shirt in a panic, stumbles and falls all over the kitchen, writhing in pain while knocking over everything in his path. His appendages elongate, nails become claws, skin loses its color and turns black and rough. He's on the ground, screaming. Hair sprouts up all over his body as he screams, turned into a low growl. The pain reaches the boiling point as his face shifts to that of the beast. The wolf howls at the moon, deep and long, as this moment is his. The call winds down. The wolf makes haste, bursting through the window and into the woods like a bat out of hell. Exterior, Mr. Crowley's house, night. Charlie walks up to the door, knocks. His father answers.
Hey, Pop.
Mr. Crowley is surprised by who was at the door, but not the good surprised. He has no words.
Wanted to see if we could talk.
Nothing to talk about. I told you not to come around.
Can we just talk?
No, we cannot. Nothing to talk about. Don't come back here.
He shuts the door. Charlie stops it.
Don't have anyone else. What am I supposed to do?
I don't give a good goddamn, you junkie, murdering piece of shit. If you come around again...
His eyes go from stern to alarmed as his eyes shift past Charlie to something behind him. Charlie turns. The beast is charging across out of the woods, full steam ahead toward them. Charlie backs off to the side, halfway between fleeing and being frozen in awe. He ends up getting out of the way of the charging beast, staring as it closes the gap. Mr. Crowley finishes processing what he's seeing. He tries to shut the door. No use. In the few seconds it took Mr. Crowley to react, the beast is in the red zone and it springs in. The door flies open, sending Mr. Crowley to his ass. The beast smothers him and feasts. Mr. Crowley screams wildly. Charlie stands up, looking in, watching. After a moment, the beast is finished. It turns around, face and chest drenched in blood, staring down Charlie with its horrible red eyes. It walks toward Charlie. Charlie backs up, stumbles to his ass. The beast holds this gaze, still advancing, until it's up close and personal with Charlie. Charlie isn't nearly as terrified as he should be. His slight retreat is more instinctual than an action based on decision. Charlie looks slightly fascinated. The beast now in his face. Charlie looks relaxed now, like he wants this. The beast breathes on his neck, towering over Charlie. Charlie notices the necklace around the neck of the beast. Disbelief on his face. Damien? He closes his eyes, expecting his death, welcoming it. The beast walks past him, charges into the woods. Charlie lets out the breath that he's been holding for the last minute or so. He breathes in and out roughly, gets to his feet and walks back down the way he came. Exterior trailer night. Charlie goes up to the door and knocks. A raggedy junkie named Rufus answers.
Hot damn. Charlie Crowley.
Hey, Rufus.
What brings you to my place?
Charlie pauses, hesitant. That fades, then...
I don't know.
You look spooked. Get your ass in my trailer.
Charlie enters. Interior trailer continuous. The trailer looks about how you would expect from a junkie drug dealer named Rufus in the middle of the woods. Looks like it hasn't been cleaned in years and probably smells like it looks. A few more undesirables are passed out around the place. One on a worn-out lazy boy and one on the floor.
Have a seat.
Charlie looks for a seat. There isn't one. He clears some trash and God knows what else off the couch. Pops a squat.
So, Charlie boy, good to see you. What can I do for you?
I don't know. Just want to catch my breath for a minute, I guess.
been a while, Charlie, but I know you ain't come to a place like this to catch your breath. This ain't no luxury spa. I don't got any humidifiers, no special lotion, none of that shit. I do got some other stuff, though. Don't I, Charlie?
I should leave.
Charlie gets up.
No. All right. Well, let me catch up with you for a minute.
Charlie sits. Rufus sits on the coffee table.
Don't climb up on me, Charlie boy. What you been up to? Ain't seen you in quite a stretch.
Was trying for a job.
How's it going?
Like shit.
It's a damn shame. I'm sorry, man. I am. After all the sand niggers you put down in this country, you'd think someone would be looking out for you when you come home.
Rufus opens a jewelry box beside him.
Was anyone else looking out for you when you got back? Or the government treat you like an undesirable? That's how they did me.
He takes out a crack pipe and some crack rocks from a bag.
Oh yeah, told me to bury that shit down. All right, I'll bury it down.
He takes a deep hit from the crack pipe.
Woo! Goddamn!
After a beat, Rufus composes himself, the best one can when high on crack cocaine.
Why'd you really come here, Charlie? I imagine someone who isn't interested in my products wouldn't roll through a place like this to catch their breath.
Beat.
You looking for someone to take care of you? You hurting, Charlie? I'll look out for you. Just tell me what you want.
Beat. Charlie rolls up his sleeve. Interior Damien's room, late morning. Damien slowly opens his eyes from his bed. They flutter around until he realizes he's covered in blood. He starts to panic before running to the bathroom. Interior Damien's bathroom continuous. He bursts in and drops in front of the toilet, violently vomits into the bowl. Damien wipes his mouth, heads to the mirror, and looks into it.
I'm losing my fucking mind here.
Damien jumps in the shower, trying to scrub all the blood off of him as fast as he can in his panicked state. Interior Damien's room, moments later. Damien rips the sheets, blankets, and pillowcases off his bed. Interior Damien's laundry room, moments later. Damien stuffs the linen into the washer and drowns them in bleach. Interior Damien's living room, late morning. Still on edge, Damien enters his kitchen and sees the mess.
What the fuck?
Damien looks over to the couch for Charlie. Empty. He checks his phone. One unread message, sent by Alice at around 10 last night. It reads, "I need to talk to you." Damien calls Alice.
Hello?
Hey,
Sorry about not showing up last night.
don't worry about it. I passed out. Wasn't feeling so hot.
You okay now?
I think so. Yeah.
We need to talk.
Okay. Can you come over?
Yeah. I can be there in about 15.
All right.
Damien hangs up and heads to the kitchen, starts cleaning up. Interior Damien's living room, late morning. A knock at the door. Damien answers and lets Alice in.
You look nice.
What happened when you went back into the bar?
What?
Last night, don't play clueless.
I'm not. Sorry, my head has been spinning.
What happened in the bar?
I went back in to pay the tab. Those two guys started back up again. Got in my face and I saw red. I've been feeling myself lately.
They're in the hospital.
They're milking it.
This is serious, Damien.
I'm sorry. I really am. You saw how they were.
I'm not saying they didn't deserve it. They did. I'm saying I'm worried about you.
They interrupted my karaoke.
I'm serious.
I'm fine, I think. I don't know.
Beat. Damien sits at the nearby table. Damien sits at the nearby dining room table. Alice joins him.
I've been trying to move past this whole thing. I've been trying to bury it. But I can't shake this feeling of waiting for the other shoe to drop. What if Sanders is right about me? I'm really trying to stay grounded here, but it feels like everything's unraveling.
Damien, listen to me. You're not losing it, and you didn't do anything. The medical examiner agreed that an animal did this. You have to understand that. can't imagine how hard it must be to get past something like this. And I'm sure it messes with your head, but you have to keep it together. Don't give Sanders any more reason to have an interest in this. All we can do is get a hold on this and carry on. Put this whole mess behind us, okay?
Okay, Alice.
I'm with you on this, all right?
Damien smiles. They get up and hug. Alice's phone rings. They break, but Alice and Damien are still close. She answers.
Bailey?
Damien can overhear.
We need all available units to 357 Willow Lane. Coroner and paramedics are already en route.
Damien's eyes widen. He steps back.
It's my dad's house. Why is a fucking coroner being sent to my dad's house, Alice?
Damien rushes for the front door.
Wait here, Damien!
He exits. Alice follows. Exterior Damien's driveway continuous. Damien gets in his car and floors it recklessly down the road.
Shit!
Alice gets in her car and follows. Interior 1970s Chevy Malibu. Moments later, Damien speeds down the road, sweating, feverish, letting his imagination run wild. Exterior Mr. Crowley's house. Afternoon. Damien pulls up and Alice behind him. They get out of their cars. Damien bolts inside. Alice trails. Interior Mr. Crowley's house. Afternoon. Damien enters the house. He's greeted by a great deal of blood that leads to mangled corpse of his father in the corner. He rushes over, drops to the ground, and holds Mr. Crowley's lifeless body in his arms. Alice runs in with her gun out and up, only to find Damien clutching his father, sobbing in a pool of blood.
I did this.
Alice holsters her gun and picks Damien up out of the blood. Damien latches onto her, sobbing in agony in her arms. Exterior Mr. Crowley's house continuous. Sanders and his two deputies pull out up in their squad cars. Interior Mr. Crowley's house continuous. The sound of the cars arriving.
Come on, Damien. Let's get some air.
Alice and Damien get up and head to the doorway. Exterior Mr. Crowley's house continuous. Sanders and the deputies get out of their cars. They see Damien standing there with Alice, clothes covered in blood. Damien wipes his face. He looks off into the woods with a traumatized stare. Sanders and his deputies approach the house.
Take him over by the cars.
Alice walks Damien to the car. Sanders peeks inside. After a decently long look, he turns around and walks towards Damien. He can't quite get a read on how he's feeling. He hits Damien in the face. Damien goes down but couldn't care less. Blank expression.
Hey!
Sanders pounces, then the hits come harder and harder. He keeps wailing on him until finally Alice and the deputies pull him off. Damien has a busted lip, leaking nose, and a gash on his eyebrow. Could be worse.
That's twice in a fucking week. Both times here you are, untouched.
Alice pushes Sanders.
Stop! What the fuck are you doing? You're going in with this shit again? We just got here.
Sanders pushes Alice back.
Don't give me that shit. This town was quiet. Not a peep until a few days ago, and at every fucking turn, this piece of shit is right in the middle of it.
Listen, how can a man separate a head from a body? The autopsy said the Sampsons were ripped up, not cut. This body is just like one of those.
Get the fuck out of my way. There is something wrong with him. He's either going in a cell or in the ground.
Oh yeah? What are the charges? What are you going to say in trial? I know these bodies were eaten and torn apart, but I'm pretty sure this guy did it.
I don't know what I'll say, but I'll figure it out. And while I work on figuring that out, he goes in a cage. This stops right now until we figure out why he's in the middle of 6 fucking deaths.
Damien wills himself to his feet.
It's fine, Alice.
Sanders handcuffs Damien and shoves him into the car. Interior police station night. Damien stands in a trance in the middle of a big holding cell, completely alone. Like the hospital, this small-town building is also modest. Sanders sits behind a desk on the other side of the room, his eyes locked on Damien. Dead silence as we hear footsteps closing in. In walks a man that looks like an oil tycoon, complete with cowboy hats, cowboy boots, and a full denim outfit. The denim man walks up to the cage. Damien doesn't react.
Boy.
Damien doesn't respond. The denim man taps along the bars. Damien snaps out of it.
A little lady cop called me and said someone needs legal counsel. Since you're the only one in here, it looks like I'm your lawyer, and I'll have you out in here in 2 shakes.
I don't want out.
They have no right to hold you. We'll get you right out and you'll go home and get a good night's rest.
The denim man walks over to Sanders.
Release my man over there.
He's not going anywhere.
He is, that much I know. There are a few ways we can do this, but I'm sure you're familiar with them. In the case that you're not, way number one starts with me taking pictures of my battered client and driving them up to the 88th office. You and I both know you have nothing on him and are holding him illegally. Charge him or release him. It's that simple. Now, I'll give you a few minutes to swallow your pride, but after that, I expect you to come on over and unlock his cage.
The denim man winks at Sanders. He heads back over to Damien.
Whatever problems you got, kid, sitting here won't fix them.
Sanders reluctantly comes to unlock his cell. The denim man tips his hat at Damien, then departs.
Our little town doesn't seem quite as safe as it used to be. Make sure you're careful, because if not, I don't know, maybe something happens to you.
Get the fuck out of my face.
Sanders moves aside, letting Damien leave. Interior police station continuous. Alice is seated near the front doors. Damien blows past her and continues leaving in a hurry.
Damien, wait.
Don't.
Exterior police station continuous. Damien bursts out of the station in a huff and starts walking down the street. Alice follows him.
Can you just talk to me?
Damien pays her no mind and jumps in a taxi that's hanging around the corner. Interior taxi continuous.
357 Willow Lane. Go.
Exterior street continuous. The taxi takes off. Alice turns around and gets in her car. Interior police station rec room. Moments later, Hanover and Montana sit at a table eating dinner. Sanders sits down on the table, right in the middle of them. The deputies stop eating in their tracks.
Why did you boys become cops?
They don't know what to say.
That wasn't rhetorical.
Well, to be a cop,
Do you care about your family, Hanover?
of course, sir.
How would you feel if next time you went to visit Grandmammy Hanover, her old ass was ripped to pieces and littered all over the living room? In a town this small, I'd argue that it's quite possible that she could be next.
Well, I don't think I'd like that at all, Detective Sanders.
I imagine you'd be willing to do what you need to make sure that doesn't happen to her next. Would I be correct?
Yes, sir.
I'd say promotions would be in order for the men who go to necessary lengths to protect this town, wouldn't you, boys?
Yes,
Yes, sir.
Then put down the goddamn hoagies and go gear up!
Hanover and Montana exit to the armory. Exterior Mr. Crowley's house, night. The taxi pulls up in front of the house. Damien gets out and walks to his car. The taxi leaves. Damien stops at his car, a last gaze at his childhood home. He's soon interrupted by the sound of Alice's car as it pulls up next to him. She gets out.
You've got to stop following me.
You shouldn't be alone on this. Why don't you talk to me? If not me, someone else?
There's no fixing this one, Alice.
Alice moves closer to Damien.
We can...
Damien kisses her like it's the last time, because it damn well might be.
I know I shouldn't, but I love you. Last good thing in my life, and I thank you for your compassion. But whatever's happening, it doesn't end well. I'm sorry.
He gets in his car and floors it. Exterior woods night. Damien sits in his car. It's still running. Interior 1970s Chevy Malibu continuous. Damien opens the paper grocery bag. Inside it is a straight razor, a bottle of sleeping pills, a bottle of aspirin, and a bottle of vodka. He turns on the radio, changes the station until he finds a dreamlike indie song. He opens both of the bottles of pills, then the vodka, dumps both bottles into his mouth and chases it with too much vodka. He takes those last few moments to appreciate the music and take in the scenery. Damien slowly unfolds the straight razor. He plays with it in his hands for a moment while he builds up the nerve. He slashes his left wrist, opens it up, letting the crimson red blood flow. He switches hands and does the same thing to his right wrist. He's fading slowly, but with the smallest smile on his face. It's all over now. Fade to black. Silence on black. Slam to interior 1970s Chevy Malibu night. Damien violently wakes, gasping. It takes him some time to realize where he is. He looks at his wrists. He sees dried blood over dark, scabby skin. Horror floods his face. He explodes in anger, thrashing around in the car, hitting the steering wheel, then smashing the driver's side window. He tires and rests his head against the steering wheel. Deep breaths. Deep breaths turn to hyperventilation and sobbing. Damien winds down. The light bulb comes on in Damien's head. He suddenly looks like a man with something to do. He kicks the car into gear and takes off. Exterior, Samson House, night. Damien speeds up to the house, tearing up the lawn as he comes to a stop. He gets out of the car, stares at the house where this nightmare started. Can't blame him for not wanting to go back in. He slowly approaches to the front door. Interior, Samson House, foyer, continuous. Damien breaks down the locked door. It falls along with caution tape attached to it. The house is still the blood-stained reminder of the massacre. The carpet is mostly red now. Dead silence as Damien peers inside from the doorframe. He goes in. He makes his way through the house. Interior, Samson House, living room, continuous. He looks around and makes his way to the kitchen. Interior, Samson House, kitchen, continuous. Damien stops in front of the fridge. It's covered in various portraits of the whole family. Damien takes down the family portrait, looks closer. Damien recognizes everyone in the photos except one person, the only person who wasn't at that dinner, John. What sounds like coughing comes from under the house. Damien goes out back. Exterior, Samson House, backyard, continuous. Damien circles the house. He comes across the cellar door. Bloody footprints lead from the woods into it. He hesitantly opens the hatch and makes his way down the cellar stairs. Interior, cellar, continuous. He wanders through the cellar, claustrophobic and dingy, unused. On the far wall, he sees a silhouette slumped against the wall. The silhouette coughs, nasty hacking. Damien moves in, takes out his lighter, strikes it. He can see the silhouette. It's whatever's left of John. He stares at him for a moment. John looks like a vagrant. Skin is dappled with blackish and nasty wolf skin, hair greasy and matted. Damien grabs a bucket from the corner, turns it over in front of John. Next to them is a small curtain covering the cellar window. Damien slides them open. He sits down on the bucket, lights a smoke, gives one to John, lights it for him. The moonlight spills through the window onto them both. John wheezes, covered in dirt and dried blood. Damien takes in the sight of him.
What happened to you?
Looks like I'm dying, don't it?
You're the one who killed them?
I couldn't stop it. Dreamed it. It kept rattling around in my head, banging on the walls. What do you know about it?
I know. I got whatever you got. What are we?
Nothing good.
Stop with this cryptic shit. How did this happen?
He nods off.
Hey! The details, John!
Begin flashback. Interior shack night. A normal-looking and cleaned-up John is sitting on an old spring bed, packing shit into a suitcase. Sudden carnage outside. Screaming, howling, snarling, shots fired. John checks his window. Doesn't see anything. He goes outside. Exterior shack continuous. John stands in his doorway of his shack that is in the middle of the country. He's trying to get a sense of the situation. He hears a few voices, panicked, excited, and getting farther away. He heads in that direction. Around a bend of trees, he spots something in the distance, a black and red mast in the middle of a field of grass. He moves on it. It's a burnt beast, the wolf, blackened and beaten. Labored breath comes faintly from its mouth. Its fur melted and bloody, chest barely expanding and contracting, until it stops. Stillness and silence from both the wolf and John. Beat. John tiptoes toward it for a better look. The wolf springs back to life in a death rattle, writhing about, slashing and flailing everywhere. John's leg is gashed pretty nasty. He recoils. The wolf dies off. John limps away. And flashback. Interior, cellar, night. After that, I go get it patched up at the hospital and hop on a plane home, and well, you know the rest, I'm sure.
And you become that thing, kill everyone close to you. Is that right?
Yeah, I think that about covers it.
What's happening to you now? Why are you all fucked up?
Figure I ain't no more used to it. Now it does me. It's time to pay the piper for all them bones shifting around. The old beastie had its fun and left me with the bill. John coughs up blood. I doubt I make it through the night. Not that I mind. Damien gets up to leave. Hey, let's make sure. Hand me something. Should be an old knife around here somewhere. Damien looks around, finding an old hunting knife in a pile of other old stored shit. He tosses it to John. John unsheaths it. Exterior Sampson House moments later. A distraught Damien gets in his car. Interior Chevy's 1970s Chevy Malibu, continuous. Damien sits for a moment, throws it in gear, speeds off. Interior, Damien's living room later. Damien enters, taking a few gulps of the leftover vodka before tossing it aside. He sits down for a much-needed breather. Charlie is back, and he's passed out on the couch. Damien starts to doze, eyes heavy, tired. He falls asleep. The bottle of vodka falls from his hand and clanks on the ground. This wakes Charlie up. He stands groggy, looks around, looks at Damien, eyes fixed on the necklace, walks up to it, considers taking it. Emotion suddenly floods his face. He takes a few steps back, sits on a chair, staring at the necklace. He tears up, holding back waterworks. Begin flashback. Exterior airport evening. Damien and his mom, Mrs. Crowley, 40s, lean against their car, waiting outside of the airport. Mrs. Crowley is wearing the necklace that Damien wears in the present. A crowd of people exit from the airport doors. In this crowd is a younger Charlie carrying a duffel and wearing army fatigues.
Charlie!
Charlie and Damien look around 5 years younger. They're both cleaned up. The pain that's now in their eyes for the rest of the story is absent for now. Not much of a care in the world. Damien and Mrs. Crowley brim with excitement. Charlie hustles to them. They all hug. Charlie is shaking ever so slightly, though he conceals it. They break. Charlie kisses his mom on the cheek.
Hey, little brother.
Charlie puts Damien in a headlock. They both laugh and struggle to get the upper hand. Charlie brings him to the ground and they continue. Mrs. Crowley pulls them up.
God damn it, can you two not say hello like normal people?
Charlie and Damien exchange a smile.
Come on, get in the damn car. I'm exhausted. We should get going.
How long you been driving?
12 hours.
I'll drive. That way you two can rest on the way home. Least I can do for y'all picking me up way out here.
Is your license still good?
Yes, ma'am. Just need to hit the head and I'll be good to go.
Interior bathroom evening. Charlie's in a stall, bathroom to himself. He's suppressing grunts, pushing, straining. Something finally happens. The sound of something small plopping into the toilet. We've all been there, Charlie. Interior bathroom stall evening. Charlie looks into the toilet at a tied off balloon. He fishes it out and starts to dry it off with toilet paper. Once that's done, he cracks open the balloon on the tank of the toilet. It's heroin. He takes a deep breath, sets up some lines, snorts his dose. He falls against the wall of the stall, leans up against it for a beat, eyes glossed and heavy. Then he gets his wits back, starts cleaning up to leave. He opens the door. Interior, car, night. Charlie is driving late night and something like halfway through their return journey home. Damien's in the back seat. Mrs. Crowley is sleeping in the passenger seat. Charlie looks good, but he's high, eyes red and droopy. He looks to have a handle on it, though. Damien stares out the window. Charlie's eyes start to droop. He shakes it off. Eyes open wide, he continues down the highway. They droop again, slowly closing. He doesn't catch himself this time. His foot weighs down on the pedal. The car accelerates. A turn comes up. Charlie isn't awake to correct the course.
Charlie!
Charlie jolts awake. Too late. They shoot off the road and down a hill. The car flips and rolls. Everyone inside is tossed around like dice in a Yahtzee cup. Damien's head slams against the window. The window breaks. Another few rolls and he slips out of the window. Damien yelps as the car smashes his leg as it rolls over it. The car keeps rolling until it finally slides into a tree. Everything is silent and still. Time stops for Damien. He starts dragging himself to the wreck, clutching and ripping out handfuls of grass, weeds, and dirt as he advances feverishly. The driver door creaks open. Charlie falls out, tries to stand, but stumbles back down. Damien finally makes it to the passenger seat. Damien wills himself to his feet and supports himself with his good leg. He leans on the car. It's not good. His mom has a tree branch lodged in her chest. Lungs likely. Her labored breath is deep and difficult.
Hey, look at me.
I'm fine. You're okay.
She tries for another breath, but it proves too difficult. She goes limp, bows her head. Damien sobs.
Oh, come on, Mom.
Damien limps around to the other side of the car to check on Charlie. He's slumped against a tree with a gash on his head. Damien drops down next to him.
Charlie! Charlie!
Charlie opens his eyes.
There you go. Are you okay?
I'm sorry.
Don't worry about that now. We have to get an ambulance over here.
Damien struggles as he fishes for his phone in his pocket. Takes out his phone, starts to dial.
No.
Damien figures Charlie is delirious from the crash. He dials 911.
Damien, don't. You gotta get me out of here.
What?
I'm high.
What?
Go to jail, Damien.
When? What are you talking about?
Smack in the bathrooms before we left. It was just a little bit. I'm sorry.
Damien takes a moment. He snaps and starts wailing on Charlie.
You fucking killed her! Why didn't you tell us?
Damien's crying as he continues. Charlie's face is beaten to a bloody pulp. Damien holds his arm back as he looks at him. He stops himself and falls next to Charlie.
How could you do this to her, Charlie?
He catches his breath. Charlie is wheezing. Damien finishes calling 911. Exterior road later. Damien is sitting on the side of the road, leg bandaged. Charlie is in the back of an ambulance. A cop walks up the hill from the crash to the road. He stops in front of Damien.
Your brother's gonna be okay. His face was pretty messed up from the crash.
Paramedic gets out of the ambulance.
Officer, can I have a word?
The paramedic and the cop walk away.
The driver has some old needle marks in his arm. Might have been high when they crashed.
Get him to the hospital. Get him taken care of and then have him tested.
The cop walks back to Damien.
We found this on the floorboard. Must have come loose in the crash.
He hands Damien his mother's necklace. Damien stares at it. And flashback. Interior Damien's living room, night, right where we left off, back on Charlie, teary-eyed and unsure of what to do. He sits for a moment, goes over it, still staring at the necklace. He wipes his eyes, gets up, creeps towards Damien.
Here we go, little brother.
He moves closer, grabs the necklace. Damien wakes up roughly. Damien instinctively pushes Charlie back.
Hey, kid. Just taking a look.
Charlie sits back down.
Sorry if I spooked you.
Damien calms down.
No, it's fine. Sorry, I'm on edge.
What's the deal?
Looks like there's a monster in me. And it won't go away until it gets everyone close to me.
Yeah, I mean, I saw you killing Dad last night.
Pete.
What?
I went to his place last night. He wasn't too happy to see me, and when I was leaving, here comes the most horrifying thing I could think to imagine. And it was wearing that same necklace you got on right now.
Pete.
If what you said was true, now it makes sense why that thing walked right past me.
Pete.
No chance of me meeting him.
I don't think so.
It's okay. I can hammer a deal out of you then.
What deal?
A mutually beneficial one. See, I learned something special over the last day or two. I learned that I ain't got what I need to make it in this world. That thing that makes you buck up and soldier on, I don't got it. Ain't no place in this world for me. When I saw that thing last night, I was scared, really. I was relieved. It was a guilt-free way to check out, and when that thing passed on killing me, it broke my heart.
Beat.
I don't follow you, Charlie.
You will. It's a cold world out there. Just add to it. Think you got this evil in you because of what I done. And it ain't right for you that I'm still walking. It ain't right for me. So that's the deal I'm trying to drive. You finished what you wanted to finish that night, those years ago, and you put a lid on that thing that's been eating you alive. That's the deal. Mutually beneficial.
Beat.
I can't do that, Charlie. Don't ask me that.
I'm asking you that. Because we need it. I can't move past what I've done, and you can't neither. I see the way you look at me. You want me leaking on your floor, and it's only natural. You can't move past this one, Damien. I'm ruined, all fucked up. I ain't gonna walk around, woe is me or nothing. I just missed a step along the way, and I can't catch up.
I can't do it, Charlie.
Let's stop this. What happened to those boys you put in the hospital? They do you wrong, and you did what you wanted to do, didn't you? You couldn't control that rage with them. Don't control it with me. You did about the same to them that you did to me them years ago, but what I did was a whole lot worse than playing grab ass with their girlfriend.
I'm sorry.
If we're gonna keep going round in circles, I'm gonna need to get high.
He gets up and approaches Damien, yanks the necklace off him.
I'm out of money though. Maybe I could hawk this for a few dollars.
Damien tackles him to the ground and clamps down on his jugular.
Atta boy. Just like that.
Damien rips off what he bit down on. Beat. It happened so fast, Damien can't believe it.
Wish you would used a gun or something.
Damien laughs.
Take care of the pretty lady.
Charlie bleeds out. Damien lights a cigarette. After a beat, he sees a shadow rush by the window. He hears a creak by the front door. He waits in suspense. The door flies open. It's Sanders with his 12-gauge. Sanders sees Charlie's corpse and takes aim at Damien. He fires as Damien leaps into the nearby hallway out of Sanders' sightline. Damien is winged. Sanders advances slowly toward the hall. Hall continuous. Damien crouches down against the wall, checks his wound. Noise from the nearby window. It opens slowly. It's Hanover trying to climb in with his gun in his hand. Damien pulls him in, breaks his arm, takes the gun from him, and throws Hanover down the hall toward the living room. Living room continuous. Hanover slides in from the hall screaming. Sanders checks on him. Sanders advances to the hall, looks in. Damien looks at Sanders. Bullets hit wall. Sanders takes cover, peeks. Damien shoots, misses Sanders, puts a bullet in Hanover's shoulder. Hanover howls. Sanders puts 2 rounds in Damien's gut. Damien winces, fires back, missing. Sanders takes cover, turns, drags Hanover to safety.
You don't think I've tried this?
A creak from the other side of the hall. It's Montana in Damien's room. Window ajar behind Montana. Montana shoots Damien in the shoulder. Damien turns and puts one in his chest. Montana drops. Silence. Living room continuous. Sanders puts Hanover where he needed to be. He advances back to the hall. He checks the hallway. Damien is gone. Blood on the windowsill. We hear a car screech away. Interior 1970s Chevy Malibu continuous. Damien speeds down the highway, panicking. He checks his wounds. He's leaking. Bad. He continues down the road. His vision becomes blurry. Woozy tries to fight it off, but passes out while flying down the road. The car shoots off the road and into a tree. Interior 1970s Chevy Malibu later. The car has settled. Damien's knocked out. Smoke coming from the engine. Damien wakes. He coughs and spits up blood. He checks his wounds. They're sealed by the skin of the wolf. He takes out his phone. It's damaged from the crash, but still seems to be in working order. He dials. I almost said he dies because everything is dying. He dials. Interior police station, 2nd floor, night. Alice is sitting behind her desk drinking a tumbler of some 80 proof bourbon. Her phone rings. She puts the bottle in her desk drawer and then answers. Intercut between Damien and Alice.
Damien?
I'm hurting bad, Alice.
What happened?
They came. Sanders and his guys.
Are you okay? Where are you?
I don't know. Try to get out of town, but I crashed. As long as I'm breathing, you won't be safe.
Damien, what the fuck is going on? Please, talk to me.
Listen, Alice. The thing that killed all those people, it's coming after you. I've tried everything. Nothing fucking works.
I can help you. Just tell me where you are.
I'm past helping. But that's why I love you. Because you try anyway.
A beat.
I'm gonna tear you apart. And I can't do a thing to stop it.
I don't understand what you're saying. You sound crazy.
Wish I were crazy. It would make things a whole lot easier. I'm sorry, but I don't even know where to start.
The engine turns from smoke to fire. Damien sees it. Something clicks.
Where are you?
The station.
Get whatever weapons you can. Barricade yourself in. I know this sounds crazy. You can help me. I could save you, but only if you listen.
Damien's phone beeps. He looks at it. A malfunction error is on the screen, from the damage, no doubt.
I've got to go now. Everything will be fine. I can fix this, but I can't do it without you. This is really important. Okay? If you see a big angry wolf, set it on fire.
Damien drops his phone. Damien locks the doors as the fire spreads. He puts on his seatbelt. He pulls a bent pack of smokes from his pocket, lights one, puffs a few times. Damien lights his shirt on fire.
There we go. That's the good stuff.
He sits up straight, winces as the fire begins to eat his shirt. All is going well, until Damien catches a glimpse of the radiant full moon in his rear view mirror.
Oh, Christ. No, 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 no!
His arm cracks and shifts. He screams out. The cigarette drops from his mouth. The fire continues to spread. The entire engine block is in flames.
That's it. Come on.
His transformation continues. Damien continues to grunt and cry out as he steadily turns into the Beast. First, his arms elongate, expand, and are smothered with thick hair. His back distends, tearing his shirt to shreds. The Beast, having full control, tosses the flaming shirt aside, reaches for the door. Damien breaks into tears.
Please.
The Beast throws the door off its hinges. Damien watches, powerless. He screams in agony as his legs start to process, swelling and bursting out of his pants. What's left of Damien falls out of the car and continues to writhe around on the street as the transformation finalizes. The Beast ends up on all fours as it claims the last part of Damien. His face protrudes and disfigures until the Beast rears its awful head. The Beast is whole. It looks up, facing back towards the town where Alice is. It breathes in. This, again, is its moment. It races like a runner at the mark and explodes into a sprint. Interior police station moments later. Sanders is helping Montana in. Hanover trails holding his broken arm.
What did you do?
Get the first aid kit.
He needs a doctor.
How am I supposed to explain this to a doctor? I'll fix him.
He walks to the other room. Alice inspects the wounded deputies. Sanders enters with the kit.
Sanders, tell me what happened.
Your boyfriend happened.
Damien did this?
Oh yeah, I guess he wants to add cops to the body count.
Oh, you definitely weren't looking for trouble, were you, Sanders? Huh? What's with all the secrecy if this was by the book?
She decks him.
Huh?
Hanover tries to hold him back.
I won't ask again, Sanders. What did you do?
what the restrictions wouldn't let us do. We found a dead body in his house. How about that? You so in love with this guy that you're gonna let murder slide?
Beat.
We went out one time. I don't love him. I'm worried about him.
Alice storms off upstairs. Sanders sits up Montana and pours alcohol on his wound. He cries out. Sanders wraps up his chest with gauze. He props Montana against the wall. Sanders goes into one of the desks and grabs some liquor, knocks it back. Sanders sits down next to his broken deputies, loosens his tie and lets out a sigh. Throws his tie to Hanover.
Wrap that up.
Interior police station, second floor, continuous. Alice picks up the phone and speed dials. It rings.
Yeah, we need an ambulance at the station.
Interior police station, continuous. Sanders and crew are taking a breather when the thunderous sound of glass breaking puts them on full alert. Sanders and Hanover stand and draw their guns. Silence. Montana wills himself to his feet also, hunched over. He draws his gun.
I'll check it out.
Hanover slowly advances, turns the corner out of Sanders' line of sight. Again, silence. Sanders and Montana hold their breath. Suddenly, the room is filled with snarling from the rabid pit bull from hell. We hear a few shots, screaming from Hanover, as his torso is tossed into Sanders' line of sight. Sanders is shell-shocked. He slowly backs up. The mangled Hanover is clinging to life, crawling and leaving a trail of blood and innards in his path. Montana stands tall, clutching his gunshot wound with one hand and shakily aiming his gun with the other. Sanders continues to slowly backpedal. Montana notices and turns.
Boss.
Sanders' eyes widen like he saw the devil himself. He turns and charges up the stairs. Montana, wounded, alone, is crept up on by a low growl. He turns around, trembling in fear. Shoot wildly. The beast pounces on him. The deputy gets a few shots into the gut of the beast. The beast rips off Montana's arm. He shrieks and hollers as the beast demolishes him. Interior police station, second floor, continuous. Alice hears a few shots, screaming from the Hanover. Sanders bursts through the door, closes it behind him, and stands up against it. Got a bad case of perspiration.
What the fuck is going on down there?
No response from Sanders.
Sanders!
Still no response.
Sanders!
He snaps out of it.
A hellhound.
A what?
It won't make it sound any less ridiculous. A big, dead-eyed hound from hell.
Alice takes a moment.
Does it look like the type of thing that could tear a bunch of people to ribbons?
Sanders nods. She opens a desk drawer, grabs the bottle of bourbon, opens it and sets it down on the desk. She rips her sleeve off her shirt, stuffs it in the bottle.
Give me your lighter.
Sanders takes it out of his jacket pocket and tosses it to her.
What are you doing?
Damien called me a bit before you got here. Told me how to kill it.
How did he know it would be here?